Welcome back. My name is Shamika, and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super hype about today's show because if you know me, then you already know that I am a huge Jackson family fan. So I cannot contain my excitement because in my head, I'm like a distant cousin that they don't know about, but that's a whole other story. So, because listen, y'all, I've interviewed everybody from the patriarch of the family, rest his soul, to the second generation. And so today is another second generation Jackson joining me, Mr. TJ Jackson. And I'm super excited because this is Tito's son, Tito Jackson, the Tito Jackson, y'all, his son. And he's a part of the group 3T. And what's so special about today's interview is we're going to talk about his solo career. He also dropped an EP called Obsession. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to see what else he's got going on. And you know I'm going to ask him some Michael Jackson questions. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Joining me today here on Check the Rhymes is Mr. TJ Jackson. Welcome, TJ, to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I'm great, Shamika. How are you?
I'm doing well. How have you been holding up during the pandemic?
It's been a challenge. From the health perspective, no one in my family is, as far as I know, has it or has gotten it. Mm-hmm. But, everything outside of health, it's been challenging. It's been different, from the kids and their schooling to routine, to traveling, to shows and studio sessions. It's all new territory for myself, but I think everyone out there is experiencing something like that in their own world. So it's no different here, just trying to adapt to the new normal.
Well, that brings up a good question. Like, what is it like in the studio? Because, you can't obviously wear your mask when you're recording. So. Yeah.
So fortunately for me, I work very closely with one producer.
Okay.
So, we buckled down for several weeks and did as much as we could, kind of quarantining ourselves away from everyone.
Yeah.
We did have an outside session where we did, had drums to lay down, and we went there with masks. The drummer actually played with masks. It was completely different. The intent was to film some of it for a behind the scenes thing, but it just didn't feel right because it's but I guess that's part of the times we're going through. It's different. It's different, and it's hitting every single industry, and even simple things like recording, it's different. It's changed.
Yeah, even I did a red carpet the other day, and it was like, how's this going to work? But it was on Zoom, and I was like, well, I guess you just adapt, even though it's weird. But
you do the best you can. Life has to go on, and I think it's an important lesson for everything in life. Whatever gets thrown your way, whatever setbacks or obstacles, the best way to get through them or to get past them is to go through them and to just go head on. And that's the approach I've been taking through this whole time. And it's still been challenging, but it's what it is, it is what it is.
So, but you released your first solo EP. So I want to talk about that.
I did.
I wanted to know, first of all, what made you decide that now was the time, or this year, 2020, was the time to release that EP? And then what made you decide, let me do this on my own without my brothers?
So I'll answer the second one first. I just think, my brothers, 3T, music has been in our blood forever, from being Jacksons. That's just what we do is music. And, we've been a group for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And I think it just got to a point where there was interest to pursue individual projects. And, my middle brother, Terrell, he did his thing and is doing his thing. Mm-hmm. And, there was a lot I wanted to say musically as well. Didn't realize it, just until a couple years ago, but there was a lot that I had in my head that seemed better for me as a solo artist than maybe for 3T. Mm-hmm. So I just went for it, and I'm so happy I did because it's been such an enjoyable and unique experience, even different than the 3T times, So I've enjoyed every aspect of it, and it's been exactly 1 year, 1 year and about 3 days when I first released my very first single.
Right.
It's just been a great ride since, and I'm so looking forward to continuing to provide music to my community and to spread love and try to just, make people's lives better through music. That's my whole goal.
Well, talk to me a little bit about the EP, Obsession. When, like, kind of, well, what's behind the title? Like, what is that? What's that about?
Well, I was going between Obsession and then Last Night, and
okay.
I just wanted something that, music is an obsession of mine. It doesn't mean it's always been this beautiful bright spot. I've been in the industry for a long time, so I've seen some negative sides of it. But the art of music is an obsession. It's something that, and I believe it's an obsession for many of my family members. Mm-hmm. Obviously the ones the world knows, but even, the second generation, mm-hmm. we live and breathe music, even if we're not doing it publicly. And I just wanted the title to be able to say that and to show that this is not something that's just, flash in the pan or something. It's just something that I'm obsessed about. And I'm obsessed over my art and it's also just thinking long term. Uh-huh. I want my music to live and for my grandkids to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And to do that, I think you do have to kind of be obsessed with your art and craft and to make it as best as it can be.
Right, exactly. Which brings me to my next question. You said that this experience has been different than when you're with 3T, but how would you describe your sound as a solo artist?
I think it's a bit more musical. I mean, it's tough to say it's a bit more 90s R&B because that's what, to me, 3T is. But I think that's just my base. And instead of trying to chase what was popular or what is popular, I'm chasing what I love, and that's 90s R&B. And there's some songs that do sound more current or mm-hmm. may sound more pop or whatever it is. But the base of that 90s R&B sound is there on all my tracks. And that's something that's important to me, at least starting out. So I think that would be the main thing, just that 90s R&B with some live elements. I'm a big fan of real music, mm-hmm. of real instrumentation and real players playing. So I do sprinkle that in throughout my music just to give it that authenticity that I think is important in art. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to just kind of pick a couple songs and throw them at you, and you just kind of give us the tea behind recording those songs or writing them or however it went down in the studio.
Cool.
All right. Cool. So let's start with Obsession.
All right. So Obsession, it was a very fast song to record. I don't have any really cool stories to talk about the recording. But yeah, it's my title track. It's the first song on my EP and actually the last song I released from the EP. And, it's just a fun, upbeat R&B, true 90s R&B kind of song.
Okay. What about Last Night?
Last Night is more fun in this way from the recording aspect because, it's pretty much all live. It's live drummers, live horns, live bass, live mm-hmm. guitar. And to me, it's kind of where I want to be musically. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to, I want to make sure I'm not just completely keeping myself in a box doesn't have realness. Right. It's so important to me. And that's what Last Night is, with horns and drums and bass. And like I said, it's fresh, mm-hmm. even though it's all old school kind of sounds and it's using instruments, it's fresh because to me, I'm not hearing enough of that.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. Let's see. I have them all written down here. I Don't Deserve This.
Yeah. I Don't Deserve This is an important song to me. I think being in 3T, a lot of people equate me or my family with just love songs or mm-hmm. me and my brothers with just love songs. But I Don't Deserve This is a little different. And it's about, being able to say, I don't deserve what's going on in this relationship, mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people who have trouble saying that or articulating it or standing up for themselves.
Yes.
And I wanted to write a song that talks about that just to maybe give them some more support in being able to say that. Mm-hmm. So if you can't say the words to that other person, maybe you play the record or something, I just wanted to lend a voice to that because I'm a big believer that you got to be happy in life. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're in a relationship that's not making you smile often, then it may be time to reevaluate. And that's
Absolutely.
something that I truly believe in. Life is precious, life is fragile, and life goes quickly. So we have to enjoy it, and we shouldn't be settling in life.
I totally agree. I'm sitting here thinking, I know some people I'm about to slide this song to, like, friends that
Exactly.
I'm like,
It's
girl, you
like,
need to let him go.
it's important, and I think it's something I think about a lot. There's a lot of us out there that are going through a relationship that we're not happy in.
Hmm.
And that's not cool for us. It's not cool for them. It's not cool for our families,
Right.
because we may be more agitated or turn into something where we shouldn't be. So,
Exactly.
it's a real thing.
I want to talk about the fan video that
Yeah.
that was just recently released, and I was like, why am I not in this video?
Yeah, for number one fan. But yeah, we released for number one fan. We did a nice collage of all of my fans, and some videos, some singing, and it was just a beautiful piece. I work closely with a guy by the name of Omar Pechersky, and
Hmm.
he had the great idea of doing something like this. And, it was during quarantine, so it wasn't like we could do anything different.
That's true.
And he came up with this wonderful idea, and the fans sent in a lot of great content. And it's probably my favorite video, because I get to see the effect that the music's having on people. And it's a beautiful video.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, I love that. Like everybody gets a chance to and seeing people so excited to see themselves. Like that's
Yeah.
always great.
Yeah. So it was beautiful. I'm really happy with that one.
Okay. So have you been following along while everybody's kind of quarantining? Well, sort of.
Yeah.
But have you been following the Verzuz battles at all, like
A
on
little
Instagram?
bit.
And
A little bit. I know about them. I haven't really seen quite. I haven't seen much of any of them. But I saw a bit of the Babyface and Teddy Riley.
uh-huh.
I saw that. Was it Patti LaBelle and Gladys
Gladys.
Knight? Right.
Yeah.
They had a recent one. So I love the idea. I love the concept. It's just a fun way to bring people back to some great music.
Yeah. So I was thinking, because I've been noticing the conversation is surrounding your Aunt Janet. So who do you think she
Okay.
should go up against in the Versus battle?
Who do I think she should go up against?
Yeah.
I would say it'd have to be Madonna.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
I
good
would
one.
say it's Madonna. I mean, I don't know. I would say Madonna, to be honest. It's a similar time period. Both great female artists
Hmm.
who broke records and changed the game, and dance, sang, did it all. So I would say Madonna.
What about 3T? If they were,
Who would we go against?
yeah, who would 3T go up against?
I think it depends on what country you're in, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. I'll let the fans figure that one out. But I can say this: depending on where you're at, you'll probably have a different response.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah, for
kept
sure.
thinking about it myself when I was writing that question down, and I was like, I don't even know who I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a
That's a
good one.
hard one.
I'm curious to know what others would say, though.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to tell people. Maybe I'll do a poll or something when this video comes out,
There you
so
go.
we can find out. So what's going on, or what's next for you? Like with the solo project, are you going to do some Instagram shows, or what are you
Yeah.
planning?
I have a lot planned. I have so many songs that I've already recorded
Hmm.
that are waiting to get released. I'm trying to do it in a fun way for my community,
Hmm.
making it more of a journey. But I have a lot of music that is done, and some that is in my head that I want to get done. So there's going to be a lot more music in the rest of this year in 2021. I have my new EP coming out in November.
Okay.
It's going to be called Damaged. And then let's see. And then hopefully shows. I'm not doing shows via the internet because I want to do them the proper way
Yeah.
my first time out. But I am doing a lot of lives and a lot of taking my community in the studio. So I'm trying to keep them engaged and keep them, excited during this difficult time that way.
Okay. I did want to talk about 3T a little bit because
Yeah,
it makes no sense not to bring that up.
let's do it.
So what are you guys working on? Or are
So
you
we
working
haven't
on
been doing
anything?
much collectively. You know, we're giving each other a break
Okay.
and letting each other, you know, like I said, grow into what they wanted to do, you know, in the last 5, 10 years.
Yeah.
And then hopefully soon we will come back and do a record. And I think it's time. This is our 25th anniversary since Brotherhood was released
Hmm.
in 95, which was our first album.
Yeah.
And you know, it would have been nice to do something. We had some kind of plans to do something cool before COVID hit,
Right.
but you know, maybe it'll have to be for the 30th anniversary. But they're my brothers. They're, you know, we didn't meet at an audition. We didn't do any of that. So we're brothers, and hopefully soon we will do another record and even do a tour, so we could see our fans around the world.
Okay. So I have to ask about I'm going to throw some 3T songs at you
Yes,
because, I want to know if there's some stories we haven't heard about some of these
yes.
songs. Okay. So anything.
Anything is our first single. It's just an amazing song and brings back only happy memories
Hmm.
because it went from a song that, you know, I was a junior in high school, so maybe 16 or 15 when it was written. I think I was 15 because I remember writing part of it on the way to school. My brother was driving.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it was really, we wanted to release one song and Sony, our label, wanted to release another one,
Hmm.
and our album was finished. So we knew the only way to accommodate both sides is if we wrote a song that can accomplish both things, the
Hmm.
R&B side and still be universal so the rest of the world can enjoy it on a mass level. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like three brothers who've always wanted to do music had to come up with a song that can check all the boxes,
Uh-huh.
and anything did that for us, and it's for that reason it'll always be special, it's still that song that still today people are rocking to and loving, and it's a beautiful thing.
Okay. All right. My favorite is Why.
Yeah, I could tell you many stories, but I think the most, you know, entertaining one would be on the video set with my Uncle Michael.
Uh-huh.
You know, when you're doing a video with Michael Jackson, you're expecting it to be incredibly serious and rigid
Right.
and professional. And, you know, we've been on many Michael Jackson video shoots, so we saw it, you know.
Yeah.
But when we showed up to do the video with my uncle,
Hmm.
um, we were ready. We were professional. We were serious. And here he comes when it's time to do the shot with him. He's being incredibly silly, you know, and joking around and being the uncle that he is.
Yeah.
And still to this day, that's my favorite 3T video because it's the only real capture we have of us in that element
Yeah.
of having fun, you know, and with no guard up and the four of us in it, not just one filming the other three, you
Right.
know, but all four of us being there. So
Yeah.
it's a special one for us.
Okay. Um, I Need You.
I Need You. Okay.
Yeah.
I Need You's a fun one because we actually did not like the song.
Really?
We did not like the song. We got the demo of the song and probably made it to the first verse or first chorus or the second verse and like, this isn't for us. Maybe for someone else. And our A&R guy was heavy on it. He was
Hmm.
big on it. You know, we just weren't feeling it.
Hmm.
And then we got a call from our Uncle Michael, and he's like, did you guys hear this song? I heard a song, because he would get all the songs that were presented to us. He would get them too.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, there's a song called I Need You that I think would be great for you guys, you know? And we were thinking, is that one, you know, that we couldn't even listen to? And he's like, yes, do it, please. That would be such a big song for you. So we didn't really care for it, and we just did it. And, you know, it grew into what it was. And again, my Uncle Michael loved it so much, he wanted to be on it. So he's on it. And to our defense, when we heard the demo, it was nothing like it is now.
Right.
But my uncle heard past that. And that's something that I guess we couldn't do at the moment. And I'm happy we listened to him.
That's great. I've always been a huge Michael Jackson fan. I mean, so much so, like I'm embarrassed to say this.
Oh, I want to hear this.
My cars, I named them after Michael Jackson's song.
Oh, cool. So give me a couple of your cars.
Okay, so I had an Acura a few years ago. I had a Thriller tag on the front. So everybody's always like, I mean, forget Shamika's coming. Thriller's on the way, you
I
know.
love it.
I've gone through a drive-through fast food and they're like, her car says Thriller on the front. And I'm like, seriously?
That is amazing.
Yes, my current car, it is another Acura, but it's called Moonwalker just because of the color.
Beautiful. And that's so cool because that's the power of music, you know, and my uncle would smile hearing you say this.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful thing, you know, and that's to me was the allure of even doing music was being able to contribute to others' lives. There's nothing more empowering and more satisfying. So
absolutely. Like I just thought of the other one. It was a Volkswagen Passat. It was off the wall because the windows would roll down when I wasn't even near the car. The windows would just roll down by themselves.
I love it. I love it. That's so cool. You got different time periods. So
right.
Very cool.
The next one is going to be Invincible.
Okay.
So what else do you have coming up? I know that you've dabbled in some acting as well.
Yes.
So do you plan to try to, see what you can do with that, or are you going to put that on the back?
No, I definitely want to act and continue. It's something I've always wanted to do. I just never really found the time and the right role to start the whole thing in. But I'm going to be patient with it, and I like the way Lenny Kravitz does it. And, even Mary J does it where they dabble in it and get out,
Yeah.
And I think that's the way I would, I don't see myself as that type of actor that's gives up music to pursue it. But I love storytelling. I love, entertaining, and to me, it's a proper evolution for me as an artist.
Okay. All right. One thing I noticed when I was looking at your website, and I think I've seen you tweet it a couple of times, how gratitude is very important.
So important.
I don't know, well, if I can get my sleeve up, I don't know if you can see my arm, but it says always in gratitude.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, because I was really good friends with, I don't know if you know Kashif, the producer, singer, songwriter. But anyway, when he passed away, I got this tattoo because he signed his emails and was always texting me, always in gratitude. And I thought, that's the best way to honor him because I can practice gratitude. So I wondered, why is it so important to you and to teach your kids gratitude?
Yeah, first of all, I love that.
Thank you.
I love that nod you gave to your friend. It's really cool. It's a great idea. I just think gratitude is super important in life for everyone, no matter where you're from, no matter your background, no matter what situation you're in. Mm-hmm. Whether you're winning or losing, you got to have that mentality of being thankful.
Right.
We are all privileged and lucky to have what we have, and we have to keep that we have to keep that mentality, even no matter what we're going through. And I think if we can figure a way, one reason why I'm big on it, especially with my kids, is I'm trying to help them become prepared for the world. Mm-hmm. We're more depressed than we've ever been. We're more suicidal as a world than we've ever been. And I'm trying to make sure I, as a parent, and myself as a musician or artist, for those who follow me, understand the importance of being thankful for what you do have and putting the light there. And if you can do that, it brings up the energy and the mood within yourself. And it's super important. All of a sudden your losses don't hurt so much, and all of a sudden your wins aren't as crazy high because you're being thankful, and you're pushing that credit elsewhere, which is important for your ego. And there's just so many benefits that I don't think people realize if they can practice the act of gratitude.
Absolutely. I love that. And for my last question, because I ask every guest that comes on Check the Rhymes, what is an affirmation that you tell yourself every day, especially now, because you need something to keep you going? So is there anything that you tell yourself daily?
There's a lot of stuff I tell myself, but the main one is to be present and to be a good person. Uh-huh. I know affirmation style is usually I am this, I am that.
Yeah.
But I usually just I try to be present, and I try to keep that in the focus as where I'm supposed to be. I think I struggled with this in the past, was always seeing in the future, always, a little bit too hard. When we went throughout the world, I've been everywhere, but I can't tell you anything about any of those places from those experiences because I wasn't present.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be present, whether it's, on a family trip or just at home with your kids. Be present. Our world is slowly dividing us, in many different ways. And I think if we could be present, it'll be a healthier way to live.
Absolutely. Well, can you also tell us when exactly in November, do you know yet when the next EP is dropping?
We're going back and forth between a couple days, but I'll say this: it'll be early November.
Okay, we'll take it.
Early November. Yeah, I don't want to give you the false date, but it's going to be early November.
Okay.
And that will be for the EP Damaged.
All right. Well, you'll have to come back and chat about it with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, TJ, for joining me here on Check the Rhymes today. It has been a pleasure.
You're welcome, Shamika. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.